This PC you see right next to me may look pretty boring and pretty uneventful, like something you would see in an average PC shop, but I don't really know what they're doing. However, this is the absolute best value for money thing you can build for gaming at 1080p in 2025. And the whole thing can push 240 FPS in Warzone while costing under 400 bucks if you're really stretching your budget and buying the right things. And around 400 bucks, even if you're not putting much effort into it. And every single one of you can build a PC like this. So you may want to stay tuned and watch the video because this is going to be interesting. Let's get started. This whole PC is not really upgradable, and if tomorrow you want to do something to improve it, you're probably going to have to sell it and buy a new one. So this is the worst thing about it. But the good thing is this can also do productivity quite well. This is a PC which just a few years back we would have paid over 2,000 bucks for, but we are now putting it together for very cheap. However, we have to buy all used components. You actually have the option to go and buy brand new stuff for it from AliExpress, but it's gonna raise the price to around maybe 500 bucks. So I recommend you buy it all used, and it's what we've done here today. Now, how do you build a PC like this? What are the specs? Well, there's a Ryzen 7 5800X3D, but you can also buy a 5700X3D. They're the same pretty much, on the cheapest motherboard I could find. And I think today I've surpassed myself because we're running a B350 motherboard with a 1500X3D. So B350 motherboard from like 2018 with 16 gigabytes of the worst possible RAM you can buy out there. Doesn't even have heatsink on the RAM. With the stock cooler, the lower end version, because in case you don't know, there are two different types of stock coolers. There's like the thicker one and the smaller one of the race cooler from AMD. And this one is the cheapest one. We then got a used Gen 3 drive to put on it, just to save even more money. No heatsink, because you don't need it on a Gen 3. Bought the cheapest case I could find on Amazon, but again, if you buy this one also used, it's gonna be better. Got a Mars Gaming power supply, which I don't know how it's not exploding on us, because it's like 550 watts, but I actually know how it's not exploding, because this whole PC draws, in a full load gaming scenario, 300 watts. So it's plenty fine, the PSU actually. It has a single 8-pin for the GPU, and that's all we need because we bought an RTX 4060 used. And now listen, 4060s are probably the worst released GPUs of the past 5 years, I think. However, people now are starting to know that, and people actually are starting to think they are worse than they actually are. So I'm finding RTX 3000 is currently very overpriced, so it's difficult to find an RTX 3070 for a good price, but I'm buying plenty of 4060s for really cheap. So you can buy one for around 180 bucks if you don't want to stress too much. If you look for like the OEM single fans ones, I've bought one for 150, which is really cheap. Now, how much should you pay for the rest of the build is what you guys need to know. So power supply, don't spend more than 20 bucks on it, okay? Case, considering you can build this on a cardboard box and it's gonna also work, is very much personal preference. But I use the case you can buy for 20 bucks, or a brand new one like this you can find on discount for around 30 bucks all the time. I'm buying a heap of these. Of course, they don't look the best. This case is relatively ugly, but this time I think I was lucky because I also got the fans. Now the back fan I had to add. So if we wanted to count this in, this is probably 2 bucks more. So I'm kind of cheating there, but I think it still counts. Storage, don't pay over 30 bucks for 1 terabyte of Gen 3 drive. If you look well, you're gonna find one for 20, so it's gonna be fine. Stock cooler, make sure you get it with the CPU, or eBay for 5 bucks, okay, fine, but it's better if you don't pay for it. Tricky part is gonna be getting a CPU, but I got you. So you can buy a 5700X3D on AliExpress for a decent price, just off the get-go, around 130 bucks with coupons, because it goes on discount with coupons all the time, or you can buy it used in a combo. So if you buy CPU, motherboard, and RAM, you're gonna save a lot of money, which is also what I've done here. Motherboard, you can buy a Chinese AliExpress one. I've covered them on the channel. They're actually really good for the price. They are terrible motherboard, but really good for what we're doing, okay? So gaming only, they're very good. Those are around 50 bucks, but with coupons, you can buy them for 40 bucks. However, I bought this one used for 30 bucks, which is really good. RAM, it's difficult to go too low on RAM, but around 30 bucks will get you 16 gigabytes. But if you get terrible RAM like me, you can pay 20, because yes, on AM4 it's better to have 3600 megahertz RAM and to sync the FCLK at 1800 megahertz, but it's not really something you have to do, okay? So 2666 is gonna be decent, and if you save an extra 10 bucks on such a small budget, it's gonna be good. With that said, get some high performance thermal paste, okay? Maybe spend $3 or $4 there, get some Arctic MX6 and overclock the whole PC. So listen, you're saving a lot of money on the PC, you may as well spend 30 minutes of your time to overclock this thing. Now, on my channel, I have tutorials. They're very simple. Just go ahead, see how you undervolt 1500X3D or 5700X3D, it's the same, and see how you undervolt and overclock the 4060. They're all on my channel, the videos, just check them out. And if you do that, you're gonna get around 30% more performance out of this PC compared to stock. And with that, you're gonna get the benchmarks which you're seeing right now. So we're doing 300 FPS locked out 1080p in Apex Legends, competitive settings, and we're doing around 230 FPS on Warzone competitive settings, which is crazy. And of course, you can play Fortnite at over 300 FPS, and you can play any single player title at 60 FPS with high details, and also use DLSS since we have 4000 series GPU. So this is the meta build right now. I think all of you should buy one of these, build one of these, and don't buy the stuff which is for sale on the used market, which is terrible. Build one for yourself. It's the best thing to do if you are on a budget, and it's what I recommend you guys do. Now, of course, as usual in my videos, I want to know, do you guys have any other suggestions? Would you do anything different? If so, drop a comment if you have a secret sauce for another CPU combo which is better than this, but I don't think. But if you do, please drop it down below. I want to try it out. And if you do build something like this, leave me some feedback. Tell me it was terrible and it's all my fault, or tell me it was good, okay? And if you watched the video this far, maybe subscribe for more, and I hope to see you guys again in another video on the channel. Bye bye.